Welcome back to another episode of the Qualcast, and we're following on from our previous discussion all about the Nintendo Switch 2, the hype from the console's launch, and what we've been playing at the moment. You're joined by me, I'm Ben, also known as Qualbert. We've also got Sandy, Renee, and James. Let's get stuck straight into it. Played a lot of Mario Kart, like a ton.
You've been playing Mario Kart? I've been playing Mario Kart as well.
No
Renee,
way!
have you been playing Mario Kart World?
I only just started today, but yes, I have.
Oh, that's insane. Sandy, you wouldn't by chance have been playing Mario Kart World the last few days, have you?
No, why would you think that? I mean, it's only the game I bought with the console.
Oh, okay.
This is a Mario Kart machine.
Oh my god, this thing is so good.
We should talk about Mario Kart.
Let's do that.
That game that everyone bought a Switch for, because it's not really got any other significant launch titles.
I loved it. I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
It's such a fun game.
It is a very good game. I'm just going to quickly mention a couple things that I did notice when I kind of immediately booted it up. I got to say, like, compared to Mario Kart 8, I think like the physics of it, like every character, every race going around corners, everything feels both very smooth but also like bouncy.
Yeah.
Like you kind of bounce off like walls, you bounce off obstacles, you bounce off like other characters. Yeah, like it's a good feeling, but it takes a little bit of getting used to.
Yeah, definitely
it's
a
more
learning
playful.
curve. Definitely playful, I think, is a great way to describe it, Sandy. It's not just the gameplay, it's the visuals, the music, the expressions of the characters. There's so much.
It's very, very Mario.
Yeah, it's very Nintendo.
It has the essence of Mario down to a T.
So charming. Just so charming.
Let's start with the let's start with the tracks, right? Because that's at the end of the day, this is a kart racer.
Yeah.
Bunch of returning tracks revisioned for this world. Bunch of brand new tracks from the ground up. Stand out, right? There's no bums here at all. They're all like beautiful, fun, interesting, detailed. I got no issues. My only issue is that I want more of them. I want.
Yes.
I want dozens
Agreed.
more of these things.
Like we've gone from 90, I think it was 96 tracks in Mario Kart 8, which is insane when you think about it. Like that's so much content. And I know that was like a decade worth of tracks with DLC upon DLC. So like going back down to kind of the base amount, which I think there's 32, I'm pretty sure.
I think there's actually 31 in here because when you...
Oh.
because there are 8 Grand Prix, as is typical for one of these games. But two of the... And each Grand Prix has 4 tracks, so you think 32.
Yeah.
But 2 of the Grand Prix actually recycle the Peach Castle track.
Oh.
But you race on different parts of this thing. So it feels like 2 different tracks.
I have not realized that.
Yeah, it's the... I don't remember which cups, but you race on different...
But I mean, when you...
I was going to say, when I was playing this morning, I noticed that not this morning, earlier, when I was playing, I noticed that there were different ways that you could go about the track if you came from the other direction.
100%. Each track has like 2 or 3 different versions of it. And if you play the game in versus mode, you can actually just select the track itself without having the Segway drive up that, you know, people would have seen in the trailers, where you start in one track and you end in another. You can just do 3 classic laps around that track, and they're structured similar to the Mario Kart Tour tracks, where you do a lap and then the directions change and a couple of arrows pop up. You end up doing all 3 versions of these tracks on these 3 laps. There are some tracks that are just big long loops anyway, so they don't change. But say Peach's Castle track, where there are 2 very distinct ones in the Grand Prix, if you just did that in a versus race, you end up doing all variations of that track in one hit. Some of them don't have variations. They are just 3 loops around. It's an eclectic mix of different styles of race.
I mean, I imagine they went with that because it would make it feel fresh. Because, I mean, I feel like that after playing certain tracks, I mean, we're going to play them to the point when we're getting used to them. But then once we've got used to them, it's like, well, it's no longer fresh. So by having 3 different ways to get used to it, it extends the playtime. But I imagine that it probably wouldn't be that hard for them to adjust the Mario Kart 8 tracks and possibly add them later.
Yeah, well, some of them are.
Oh, we're definitely going to see it.
Some of them are from previous Mario games, just revisioned.
I mean, there's a lot of love for Mario Kart DS in there.
Yes.
Which I am
but
loving.
No Waluigi pinball, huh? Nintendo, you couldn't give me Waluigi pinball in your big, beautiful game?
It'll come in the DLC, but I'm very happy to see Airship Fortress back. That was one of my favorite tracks from the DS, and they've really done a great job kind of revitalizing it, bringing it back to life, and also like you say, kind of adding different pathways again too. Like you go through it in Knockout Tour, but when you go through it in Knockout Tour, you are going through a completely different path as to when you race it in a Grand Prix. Like it feels fresh.
100%.
Yeah, I was going to say the Knockout Tours frequently take you on very different paths through levels and kind of connect you in different ways that you might not have thought of.
Yeah.
Even in the open world segments.
I think it's the best new addition to this game.
It's what makes
honestly.
this game.
Like
this is the best part of this game. It's so good. It's so exciting.
And so stressful.
Like the stakes are high.
Yeah.
Can I ask Sandy and James, when you went to the Nintendo events, was almost all the noise coming from the knockout area?
100%. And when I gave it a crack, I came 4th. And I was first for such a long time. And I had like the staff around me, like cheering me. You know, my missus was cheering me. All these strangers, they're all like, oh, you got this. Because I was first. And then I got blue shelled. Then I came in 4th. And everyone left my side and went to the other guy who's now...
Abandoned.
I came second.
Betrayal.
I was first to the last corner.
Heartbreak.
Oh, jeez.
Heartbreak.
And then when you're done, you're like, shaking with not anxiety,
Adrenaline.
Yeah.
adrenaline. That's the one.
Yeah.
I came 8th. I was in 7th, so I was going to make the cutoff point, but then somebody overtook me just as I was about to go over the line.
harsh.
So I
Don't
got
you
knocked
hate
out.
that? I find that actually happens quite a lot in the Knockout Tour. I'm trying to get first in all of them, and numerous times I've been first the whole race, and then probably in the last 5 to 10 seconds. Yep. Shells.
It's so fun, though.
And it's a big time commitment doing those races. They go for like 15 minutes.
And I think that they do a really good job in these like segues, like between the Grand Prix and the Knockout Tours, these segue sections between different tracks. They're, playable in free roam, which I'm sure we'll touch on next, but they're stylized in a way where they do feel like a track. And the first few times you play it, it's like, okay, I just have to get through this bit to get to the next like level, if you will. But now I'm at a point where it's like, okay, this is the jump between this track and this track. I know if I go and I turn and I get onto the electric wires here, and I can jump over the cows there, and I can it becomes a track within itself. It's as detailed as a normal track.
That's the thing. I actually, when I first played it when I first played Knockout Tour, I was like, it's just one big track. It's basically all the 4 tracks fused together into one gigantic track.
The music changes.
That's how I see it.
As you kind of get closer to the next one, it shifts to the theme of that track. It's
it is quite dynamic.
So good.
Also, I mean, the connecting tracks have so much variety in the music. There are so many good remixes in there.
I know. I had the soundtrack on today, just kind of trying to appreciate it without the screams of losing at a race or like shells and stars going off, and like there is so much good music. I think this might be one of the best soundtracks ever from a Nintendo game.
It takes every Mario theme from all. I remember I'm driving in the open world mode, right? and I'm listening to a song, and I'm like, this is from Donkey Kong Country. This is a DKC Super Nintendo track that's like been like sped up a little bit. The tempo's a little bit higher, and I'm like, this is crazy. And then the next section I'm in, it slows right down, and it's chill. I'm like, what is this? This is Mario Galaxy. This is Rosalina's theme from Mario. You know what I mean? It's just every generation, every different game. It's just kind of amalgamated here, and there's so good.
Much.
I wish there was a jukebox mode or something like to that effect where we could listen to it properly. Or
they need that.
It's so good.
Let's chat about the open world then, because you're kind of speaking about it in terms of the music. Like, how are we finding the open world? I've actually found that it's very chill. Like, I kind of go for a drive around it when I just want to explore and take in the sights. Like, I actually really enjoy it mostly that way.
I can't believe that you can go from the start menu, you press plus, and you're just in it. You're just immediately doing the thing like it's nothing. It's so good.
One thing I've started doing, so me and my wife like to play together, is opening a private online room and then just driving around open world co-op. That's always good fun.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
I don't know if you can do it without using the online lobby though.
Can you do that in split screen or?
I don't think you can. I don't think you can like local multiplay them.
It's a shame because it would be a fun thing to just cruise.
Yeah, you can if you have Switch Online. If you open up a 2-player split screen online match and then go into the open world lobby, you can both drive around together.
Okay, so you can't do it on one console. Local.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
But it's got to be online.
Yeah, I think so.
Gotta be.
Yeah, interesting. I think the only downside about that is there's no P switches when you're in the open world online.
That's true.
They disappear. And I imagine that was just due to like kind of the timing of it, because a lot of the P switches kind of they reset your positioning and they reset the time in your game. I think that probably would have been pretty difficult for them to coordinate if you've got like
I think
10 or 20 people in a lobby.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
But all the question mark boxes and coins are still there.
Yes.
Some of them are hard. Yeah. Like, some of them are very hard to get. Like, there was one the other night that, I don't know, it must have taken me like 15 to 20 tries of like repeatedly trying to experiment and get this damn peach medal.
Make no mistake. Like, some of them are easy as pie. Some of them I'm like, you know what, forget this. I'm not doing this. Just go to hell, and I leave. And I'm never coming back to this mission. Which I don't want to hark on many gripes, because this really is a wonderful game and it's a great launch game. But I do have gripes with Mario Kart World, and one of them is the structure of the open world in terms of tracking your accomplishments.
There's none.
Yeah.
There are so many P switches in this game. I think there are upwards of 400 to do. Something like that. I saw something online, like the 380, 390 mark. It's something ridiculous.
Holy heck.
When you find a P-switch in this game, you'll see it on the map. It's bright and blue. If you complete the task, it turns into a grey, so you can recognize, oh, I've done this one, and you can move on. If not, whatever. If you get frustrated, if you get stuck on time, your battery dies, whatever it is, that P-switch that you found is just kind of left there. Nothing gets added to a mini-map. There's no way to keep track of it. There's no way to fast travel to them to try again. And I think such a simple thing with these P-switches would just be on the map menu. Let me press a button that just pops all the P-switches up that I've found that I can just jump to. Yep. I don't even have to fast travel to them. Just let me see where they are and acknowledge which ones have I done, which ones haven't I done, and then just mark them as like little things that I've discovered on the map, you know?
That would have made perfect sense.
They are fun, though. Some of these challenges are wild and silly and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a ton of content there. And I mean, it is a shame that probably a lot of them are going to be missed purely because maybe you might not ever navigate to that area. So I don't know whether they'd consider adding like some sort of tracking in a future like free update, but that would probably be the best way for them to improve.
Knowing
the game.
Nintendo and weird Nintendo decisions is going
Probably
to be a part of the Nintendo app where you have to use your phone.
That's what I was about to say. Like
Oh
Zelda notes.
no, no!
Yeah.
I don't want to use that.
I love this game. It's a great launch game. I think it has a lot of potential as well over the next decade of the Nintendo Switch 2. I could totally see, once a year, every 6 months, whatever they want to do, just adding, a couple of new tracks, a couple of bits and pieces here, new characters, new
More
costumes. This has got longevity. They built this game to have legs.
Without a doubt, yeah. And like we're gonna see heaps more added to it over the next few years, maybe even the entire lifespan of the Switch 2. Was chatting with a mate about how they might potentially expand the open world, because I mean it's already constructed and it's all interconnected. I would really like to see like different little continents.
Yeah.
Like maybe you can go like get shot out of like a bullet bill cannon and it shoots you all the way to a different continent, and maybe that continent is themed after a particular area and is made up of like 4 tracks, and that 4 tracks makes up like a Grand Prix plus a knockout tour. Like I could really see that working
100%. You just have like little islands around the map
Yeah,
that can connect to existing tracks. Yeah. I have a theory that I'd love to share with you if you'd care to listen.
Go.
Donkey
Theorize.
Kong has one skin in this game.
What? One?
Yeah.
One skin in this game.
Poor
the only
bugger.
other character that has one skin in this game is Pauline.
Yep.
What does Donkey Kong and Pauline have in common, gentlemen? And Renee?
The
sorry.
original DK.
So, what comes out in a month?
Bonanza.
Donkey Kong Bonanza. I think that next month or soon after Bonanza's release, I'm getting tossed up between Banana, Bonanza, whatever. Soon after that release, I think we're going to have a Donkey Kong themed DLC.
That would be sick.
I think it's going to have 2 DLC characters, which I think is going to be Diddy Kong
And Cranky.
I was going to say King K. Rool, but
Oh yeah.
that's just me being a fan of King K. Rool. I think
he's
it's going to
cool, he's
have one of those little Kremlin crocodiles as the minion character, if you will, the NPC characters, and I think we'll have
I think.
a classic DKC themed map, like a jungle hijinks kind of thing, and a new map based on Bonanza. And I think they're going to tie that in with more skins for these characters. And that's going to be like the first drop, just to coincide with this game that's coming out soon.
Does that mean they might drop Splatoon content with the new Splatoon game?
That's
Maybe.
the dream.
That'd be really cool. Because the Squid Kids were in 8 Deluxe.
They were. Animal Crossing, Legend of Zelda. I wouldn't be surprised when Kirby Air Riders comes out later this year.
Ooh.
If a few months after that, there's a little crossover where Mario joins Air Riders and Kirby joins Mario Kart. They got potential to really just build this into the like Super Smash Bros. Of Mario Kart.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to see that.
I think they'd have to change it from Mario Kart to Nintendo Kart.
Yeah,
I'm not complaining.
Given how hard they reverted to being just Mario, I'm not sure how much crossover franchise we'll see. But Donkey Kong technically counts as the same world, right? So we should at least see that content.
Yeah. Time will tell, but I don't think we have to wait long.
No, that'll be cool. And just to mention kind of how they have reverted to just purely Mario, I noticed the character roster has shifted massively. There's a lot of my favorite characters are missing. I actually, since 8 launched, I've only ever played as Morton Cooper, one of the Kooperlings. I don't know why. I just really like him. And it's a shame he's not there anymore. And there's bloody 20 NPC animals instead.
Yeah. It would be nice. It would be nice to have the Koopalings back there. They've really kind of established those characters over the last decade.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss them too. I miss Roy. I miss my boy Roy.
One day, we will see our Koopas return. And get rid of that dolphin.
Oh, I love that dolphin. It's cute.
It is cute.
You,
it is.
you hear the noises that it makes? It's so adorable. Sandy, I'd love to know a little bit more about Cyberpunk on the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, I can hop into Cyberpunk briefly. So I bought it physical because it's lovely and proper physical game. And upon booting it up, I discovered that the Switch 2 version of Cyberpunk runs better than it runs on my computer. So we're already quids in.
Nice.
It was actually a physical cart, was it?
Yes, it's a real physical cart. This one, no key card
taste it?
this time.
Yeah, is it bubblegum flavored?
Yeah, this is important.
I don't know, but maybe I should find out.
Oh, tune in next time.
Maybe we need an
So I've been
article
chewing on
comparing the taste of
Cyberpunk.
the different ones.
Yeah, and actually, I was genuinely surprised that it seems to be pretty stable and smooth to play. There's like a slight bit of almost lag to some of the controls. It's not usually combat, it's more like driving. Seems to feel almost slow, but I think it might be deliberate because Cyberpunk's driving was never particularly polished.
So what you're saying is that it might be the Switch, it might just be Cyberpunk's just crap at driving.
Yes. And it was really interesting to experiment with the control mechanisms they've implemented. So you've got your obvious, I'll use a controller like normal. That works absolutely fine like any other console. But they also have what I'd like to call red steel mode. It's not quite as good. Like you can't point your guns with the controller, but you can reload by flicking it. You can use your melee weapons by like slashing your Joy-Con. You can heal by flipping the left one up and things like that. It was just quite fun. It felt like diving into a Wii game for the first time and just be like, oh, I can do this time.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Are you
It was
able to
pretty cool.
use the mouse mode to aim and shoot?
Yes. So you can use the mouse mode exactly like a PC mouse. I've only had a tiny play with it, so I can't really give you the lowdown, but I mean, it switches when you put the Joy-Con down like a mouse. You can point around, click on things, and then when you lift it back up, swaps back into normal gameplay. So it's pretty nifty. Honestly,
I don't know how the hell they
surprising
came
port.
up with this sort of stuff. Like, I wouldn't even think of doing any of that.
Yeah.
No, I love it.
It's the fact that
it's a
CDPR
weird thing, but it works.
Like CD Projekt had no reason to implement any of this stuff, and yet they did. And I quite like that attitude towards making Switch games.
Yeah, if you're gonna do it right. You know, it sounds like a really good port.
Yeah, I wonder if they were just like, I wonder if we can do this. Let's try it. And then went, it's actually really cool. Let's perfect it.
So I don't know if the game's going to hold up all the way through. I'm sure there's going to be performance issues somewhere. There has to be, given the nature of the game. But so far...
What I heard from the other games journalists at the Switch 2 event was that it was the open world settings that it had a bit of...
although
with.
I've not experienced it in the final build of the game yet. It seems to be pretty stable.
So that's like, fingers crossed.
Yeah, so it's definitely smoother than it was at the event, but maybe not all the way through.
Yeah, I think if there's a lot of stuff on the screen, it might have a little bit of difficulty, but I don't think it's... From what I could tell from what they said is that it wasn't a deal breaker. Like, they were like, it'd be nice if it was a bit better, but, you can still play it.
Yeah, and it's still the best handheld version, I would say, given that the only other option is Steam Deck, and it had quite significant issues.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's
think
pretty
that
awesome. They've optimized it for the Switch too. Like, you genuinely have me curious and maybe wanting to pick up a copy at some point.
It's the fact
Yeah,
that
the
it has
fact that it's on-
gesture controls and mouse controls as well.
It sounds good. Like the fact that it's on an actual cartridge instead of being one of these key card things.
Yeah.
You don't have to overload your hard drive with the 100 gig download or whatever
Oh yeah, I
crazy
didn't even
number
think
it
of
is.
that.
True.
I like the notion of like, yeah, I can just buy this cartridge, pop it in, play Cyberpunk. Like it sounds like a good deal. And I think if more third party developers are leaning in that direction,
It feels like if you didn't have the cartridge, it feels like if you went, someone was like, "Oh, what games have you got on your Switch 2?" And you just be like, "Only
Just one."
Cyberpunk, nothing else."
that's all you need.
But look how
terms of-
cool it is with my gestures.
I think in terms of speaking about performance, the only other game I can mention briefly is the two Zelda Switch games, so Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. So
Yeah.
their Switch 2 patches are really nice. Like it just makes the game feel like more polished than it was before, even though they were already
Yeah.
pretty accomplished games.
Especially Breath of the Wild, right?
Yeah,
Considering
it
that's an
reduces
8-year-old
the,
game.
It reduces the load rate
Oh yeah,
significantly.
like the load times are super short. But I was actually
Nice.
Tears of the Kingdom was a sticking point for me on Switch 1 because it ran at like 10 FPS in the main hub with the NPCs.
Yeah, there's certain
Um,
sections, even in the underground section. In
Oh,
certain
Yeah.
I'm so glad I
spaces,
didn't
was-
play it then.
And now it's
Oh, you got to play it now.
now
Yeah,
it's
I've
60
got a
FPS all
copy.
the way.
I've got a physical copy of it that I never played. I always intended to play it, and I just was like, I don't have time. And then when I heard that there was an upgrade, I'm like, okay, this is gonna have to be the time where I actually do play it. But I
Yeah.
just was
It
like,
is a superb game.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly,
Oh, yeah.
one of the best ever from Nintendo. So the
it's
fact that it
wonderful.
runs polished now, like everyone's got to play
yeah,
it.
if
I
it
think
was running
it's-
at 10 FPS, it would make me feel very unwell. So I would
I
probably.
think it's worth noting as well for anyone who doesn't know, the Nintendo Switch 2 editions of both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are included for free as part of a Nintendo Switch Online membership. So you don't actually have to pay out of pocket to upgrade an old cartridge if you are
Yeah.
an online member.
And if you do want
you
to
can
pay,
just
it's
download the patch.
what, $10 or something.
Yeah, I think it's $10 AUD,
Yeah.
which is pretty. Yeah, that's what I expect.
I thought it was 15. Or am I getting confused with?
I mean, it could be 15 because it's about eight British pounds. So
Yeah, so it'd probably be 15.
oh, and if you buy them physically, and this is the same for Rune Factory as well. Actually, you can put your Switch 2 edition in a Switch 1, and it will just play the Switch 1 version of the game.
Yes, it's really cool if you have the Switch 1 cartridge and then upgrade. Like Pokémon Legends Z-A coming out later this year, releasing on both consoles. Someone could potentially buy it on the Nintendo Switch. Maybe they get a Switch 2 for Christmas. That cartridge going in will run correctly. And then, like you're saying, vice versa. Someone buys a Nintendo Switch 2 cartridge of Tears of the Kingdom. They could go back and play the Nintendo Switch 1 version from that cartridge, right?
So
So
that means
it's
if I
great.
put my Tears of the Kingdom Switch cartridge in my Switch and then I buy the upgrade, I basically would get the
Switch
Switch
2
2
edition.
experience.
100%. That's what I did with my cartridges, and it works perfectly. You download the little patch. It changes your icon on the HUD display to the Nintendo Switch 2 edition icon, and you load into the game with that installed.
Okay. Yeah. It's actually, I found it really easy to move Rune Factory to my Switch 1. I'm just amazed at how easy it is to swap the virtual cartridges.
Yeah, it's really impressive.
Sorry, that was random out of nowhere and definitely not what we're actually talking about. It was one of
No,
the
it's
things
good.
that impressed me.
It is. I think it's like for everything that's odd about the virtual game card and all this kind of stuff that they've set up recently to accommodate this generational transition. Once you get your head around it and you actually get your hands on it, it works. It makes sense. Maybe it's a little not consumer friendly in some aspects, but there are other parts of it that are focused on ease of use. I think having a priority on a digital future, which I'm sure is blasphemy to Ben, the collector that you are, with physical game cartridges getting more and more expensive as the years go on, having a digital storefront that works for one, but also a priority into a digital ecosystem can make a lot of affordability sense.
The fact that you can actually like lend them to people as well. Like if you've got a family plan, you can just send it to the person and let them play it.
It is a good change.
Yeah. I mean, it's how do I explain? Borrowing digital games from another person isn't really something that is important for a lot of, like, they don't really care about that. It's not really something you can do unless you give them the physical system that it's on. So this is kind of like a compromise.
Yeah, and I think it's a good compromise too. And it works pretty well. You send games to your family. If you have 2 Switches in the home, I think it works real well.
Yeah, it seems to also be really good at picking up Switches around you as well. Like, that's something that I noticed, is that it says, like, if you've got, like, when I was doing the virtual cartridge thing, it wasn't that hard for me to put them, like, I thought I was going to have to put them right next to each other, but it wasn't, like, right next to each other.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I understand, yeah. Because I did my transition manually, it noted that both Switches have to be on and connected to the Wi-Fi. I tried to do it with my Switch OLED off and it didn't work, so that is your caveat. But other than that, it's a 3-second job to move a digital game cartridge over from one to the other.
I mean, like, for
It's good to know.
multiplayer, it's
It's
going to be a
actually
good
a
thing.
pretty good experience.
Yeah. Well, I think that if you're playing multiplayer, because when I was looking at it, it seems like that if someone else has a Switch too, and you guys want to play together, it picks up that that person's got the Switch too as well. So I'm hoping that maybe in, like, games like Hyrule Warriors and stuff like that, one of the things that really annoyed me is that I wanted to play it multiplayer, but the split screen just made it impossible.
Yeah, and then with game share now being a key feature, the idea would be you send that game to your friend sitting next to you on their Switch, and you're both playing couch co-op together, but with your own distinct
Yes,
screens.
exactly.
Or
That would be
someone's on the
cool.
TV and someone's on the couch. Like, you got options.
That's exactly what I'd like to see, because that absolutely ruined Hyrule Warriors
Yeah.
for me.
But we all need to give the game share a test then, and we can talk about it next time.
Yeah, this sounds good.
Yeah,
Speaking
I've
So
not
when are you
even
flying
touched
over,
it.
Sandy?
Yeah, it's a quick flight from Scotland to Melbourne, right?
Yeah.
No. He has to go to Queensland because,
Yeah, please come see me.
yeah, James and I can test it, and Sandy can test it with Ben.
Yeah.
Now, Ben
That
should
sounds good.
also come to Melbourne. Everyone should just come to
Oh,
Everyone
man.
should come to Scotland,
Melbourne.
Okay, let's do
Ooh,
that.
and we'll
Let's
all be
do
right
that.
next to each other.
I love it.
Let's have a chat about the future of the Switch too. Then we're going to wrap things up because we've been speaking for a very long time. But there is a lot to talk about with the Switch 2, and as you can tell, we're pretty excited about it. I want to hear what people are excited for next. Obviously, we've got Donkey Kong Bonanza next month. It's actually 17th of July. It's just over a month away, so it's going to creep up pretty quick. Is anyone going to pick up that?
I think I might skip Bonanza. I didn't love the demo that I played at the Switch Online experience. I am waiting to see more. I'd love to see what the reviews say. If maybe get the opportunity to review it myself. Just have an idea of what more people think, because it's hard to make a judgment on a game from a 20-minute snapshot of one. But from my experience, I didn't love the camera. I didn't love the gameplay.
Yeah, the camera was having a bit of difficulty.
I felt that the demolition style gameplay, this merge of things like Minecraft and this idea of just destroy everything and dig everywhere and do it. I feel like from what I played that it's overcorrected on the idea of what Breath of the Wild introduced. this notion of go anywhere and do anything. And we saw that in Mario Odyssey, and we see that in a lot of Nintendo games and a lot of games as a whole over the last generation. The notion here of here's Donkey Kong, put him in the world. You can go in any direction, anywhere you want. Climb any wall, dig underground, do whatever you want. It felt way too broad for me. Digging through the tunnels and making my own stuff, it was just button mashing. And when at the end of the demo, I felt a little bit nauseated. It was just maybe a little too unconstrained. That being said, though, it is a Donkey Kong game. They haven't confirmed it, but there's a lot of speculation that this is from the Odyssey team. The art style is beautiful. The music was really cool. I like Donkey Kong's new design. I'm keen to see Diddy Kong's new design because that's my boy. There's a lot of stuff here that I want to ride for, but from the little snapshot I played, I'm trepidatious.
I like Himbo Donkey Kong. I'm probably going to skip it as well, but that's just because I think the last Donkey Kong I played was Donkey Kong Country on the Super Nintendo, and I didn't even play it.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Been a while then.
And I didn't even play much of that because I was pretty young at the time, and I don't think I even knew what I was doing. I found that the destruction element was a lot of fun. I didn't have as much issues as James, even though I did notice the camera would occasionally wig out because I'd go underneath things and the camera would be like, hang on, how do I get here without just clipping through? It kind of reminded me of the camera from Super Mario Sunshine. You know how sometimes that just freaks out?
Mm-hmm. Sure. Sandy, did you have a similar experience playing it at the Switch experience up your end?
I actually never got the chance to play that demo because I spent my time playing the other things. No, it was just I think it looks pretty good. I'll probably get it, but I didn't really fancy playing the demo as such. It's more of a I'm going to wait and see what the game actually is at the time.
I think that might have been for the best because, like I said, the camera seemed a bit wonky. Yeah. I think that that's part of the reason why it wasn't a launch title was because they had to really get that camera correct.
Yeah, I mean, there's every chance the final build will be significantly more polished than that.
Yeah, especially because there is such an emphasis on getting the cameras correct in Mario and Donkey Kong games.
Yeah.
Any 3D Nintendo game, basically, with those sorts of styles, they are very on it, especially because one of the producers, I think, actually suffers motion sickness.
So they got to prioritize it. And I think that a game like this where I can't imagine being a QA tester on a game like this, but I imagine what they're looking for there is opportunity to improve accessibility and that kind of thing. I am excited to see it. It is still a brand new, built from the ground up Donkey Kong 3D. Correct me if I'm wrong. First 3D Donkey Kong game since Donkey Kong 64. Like it's a big deal.
Yeah, I think so.
Right. So I am still keen to see it. Yeah, Ben, where are you at with Bonanza?
Oh, I'll definitely be playing it. Like I love Donkey Kong. Big fan of the side-scrolling platformers, and Donkey Kong 64 is a game that I spent a lot of my childhood playing and collecting an absurd amount of things throughout that game. So yeah, I'm just keen to see what they do with it, see how they change it up. I haven't had the chance to get hands-on with it. We didn't have a Switch event in Queensland. And I'd say there's a fair chance Nintendo will send a review code through. So if I do have the available time, look, more than happy to check that one out. If I don't have the available time, more than happy to send a code to anyone who really does want to play and review it, which sounds like we've certainly got some interest here.
Either way, we'll have a review up on Qualbert for probably a lot of these Switch games over the next generation, for sure.
And certainly for at least like the next year or so, I've just listed kind of some of the upcoming titles. There's a couple that I've got my eye on. So after Bonanza, there's a bit of a lull. There's not really anything particularly big. Obviously, you're going to have ports of existing Switch games, and there's a game called Wild Hearts. So it's like a kind of Monster Hunter like that I've heard is pretty good. That's getting a Switch 2 port. Might potentially check it out. Then after that, there's a sequel in September to Daemon X Machina, which was a
Worth noting quickly, a week or so after Bonanza comes out is when Mario Party Jamboree Switch 2 edition comes out. Yeah. And sometime in this, September, August period is when the Kirby and the Forgotten Land Switch 2 edition comes out, both with significant DLC, and I'm sure we'll dive much more into it as we get closer to those releases.
Yes, I'm rather excited about the Kirby DLC.
Same.
Yeah, me too.
It's like, it's more Kirby. It's great.
Ben, tell me about Daemon X Machina Titanic Sire.
Yeah, I mean, it's a brand new game, so it's what appears to be a direct sequel to like the kind of mecha combat game that was on the original Switch, and there was a lot of mecha customization. So anyone who's into like your sort of Gundam or your Armored Core is probably going to want to check this one out. I was very intrigued by the trailer. I think it looks very dynamic. It's a big step up over the first game, obviously, because there's a lot more power on the Switch too.
Also, looks like a lot of story in it as well.
Yeah.
From the product description, Ben, I've got fly into battle in your customized arsenal, unleashing a variety of attacks tailored to your playstyle. Feel the exhilaration of fast-paced combat as you freely explore a deadly and dangerous open world on land or in the air. It's your
so we're going open world again.
Yep.
Open world really is the thing of the moment, isn't it?
Oh yeah, always. It does look beautiful. Screenshots and stills and stuff from the trailer. It looks really good. I didn't check out the first Daemon X Machina when it came out a few years ago, so this definitely might be something worth checking out if it comes together.
Yeah, I'd say we might have a review for that one, so keep an eye out for that. And then the next big one after that is Pokémon Legends Z-A, so that's getting both Switch and Switch 2 releases. Yeah, like I'm a huge Pokemon nerd.
I can't wait
playing it.
Ben, I can't wait for this game.
Very
it looks
good.
So good. I loved Legends Arceus. I thought it was the best Pokemon game on the Nintendo Switch. And it's bringing back Mega Evolutions. It's set in Generation 5. It's got this beautiful like cityscape. I'm very interested to see how they'll play with that city. I do like and this is, just based on what they've already announced so far, it doesn't look like there's going to be any new Pokemon or any new like variants or regional differences. So I do like the idea that it's more focused on the world that you're in and the gameplay that you're doing, as opposed to just, oh, look at these pretty new creatures. I can't wait for this thing. October can't come soon enough. That's my next Switch 2 release that I'm like really pumped about.
Oh, definitely. The Sandy, Renee, you going to pick it up?
I am going to be very cautious about it because I really did not like Scarlet and Violet at all. Even though I love every other Pokemon game.
It's fair.
I haven't actually played a Pokemon game since Sword and Shield. I managed to play Monster Hunter Stories 2 after Sword and Shield and was like, this is a much better game. This is Pokemon, but better.
Yeah, it scratches that itch for you. I think I agree with you guys. Like the Scarlet and Violet, Sword and Shield, they were misses for me.
Yeah, they're sloppy. Scarlet and Violet,
Sword and Shield,
did not
I
enjoy.
really like.
Oh yeah?
Oh, yeah.
I really like the Gigantamax mechanic and these large, big kind of tournament things. Right? It feels very football.
I guess the open
cool.
areas were kind of a miss, but
Yeah,
the
I think
general
the thing
world
that really
was
annoyed me. Sorry, I think the thing that really, you're just saying that because it was located where you live.
No.
The thing that I really was disappointed with in Pokemon is that they decided to add a story, but then they were like, "You're too young to be involved in the story. Go away." Like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. I think then on the flip side, I think the shining light in Scarlet and Violet is its story. It feels like Pokemon this last generation, each game had elements that were really good, surrounded by elements that were just half cooked or just straight out bad, or whatever the
They
case.
kept focusing on the wrong one thing and then going, "What about all this other
Yeah.
stuff?" Nah, just chuck it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the consistency on new Pokemon design, I think, was there. I really loved a lot of the new designs from the last few generations, but the elements of the actual game itself, just some highs and a lot of lows. That's why I love Arceus so much, because I think it just nails the brief for what it's trying to achieve, and
Yeah.
why
it is
feels
the best Pokemon game in such a long time. So I'm really hoping they can follow up with another banger with kind of similar vibes, but also a great story. And I don't think they need to add more Pokemon. We've got 1,000 now.
We've got a lot.
So yeah, a lot of interest in the new Pokemon. Sounds like I'll be talking to you a lot about it, James. Very hyped. But the game that I am the most hyped for, and have been hyped for about 8 years, is Metroid Prime 4. Very excited. Incredibly excited that it finally exists and it's being released.
I played it. We played it. It's real. It's a real game.
Ben
That's
hasn't
mad.
played it.
Oh, yeah, I haven't played it, but
yeah,
I don't want any of it spoiled. I want to go in blind, and I want to just lose myself in that world.
I'm going to spoil it
because
for you
that-
by saying
that
you're
is
going to
what
spend the
Metroid
entire
Prime
time
is.
fighting your muscle memory.
Oh man,
Spoiled.
I'll put it
I'll have
to
to
you.
play with a GameCube controller then.
I'll put it to you this way, Ben, without going into, even for anyone listening who wants to go in blind. I went to the Switch 2 experience with my fiance, and we were putting at the booth. We were sitting next to each other. We had the staff helping us get ourselves set up, sitting here for this 15-20 minute demo. Using the mouse mode controls, getting kind of situated with the other controls. About 5-6 minutes into the demo, my partner looks at me, taps me on the shoulder, and says, "We're getting this one." So not a question.
Yeah.
It's a demand. We're getting this one.
Actually, I was just wondering if you can play it with a GameCube controller. I wonder if they'll allow that.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I hope so.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
You might need
they
to
have
use the Nintendo Online GameCube controller, so you've got an L1
yes.
or an L
Yeah,
button.
yeah.
I think there's
it,
a lot of opportunity for Nintendo to use that GameCube controller, even from a nostalgia purposes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that people who don't typically play Metroid games, let alone Nintendo Switch games, spend 5 minutes with this thing and just get, okay, this is different. This hits. This feels good. This plays good. This looks good. People who aren't in the ecosystem as deeply as we are, or the Qualbert audience are, play 5 minutes of this game and say, we're getting this one. I think it's going to surprise us with just how well it does for a Metroid game. I'm excited. Ben's excited. Sandy's
Very
excited.
excited.
We're all excited. Metroid Prime 4. No date yet, though. 2025.
Just
year.
2025. So I'm hoping it doesn't get pushed. I wouldn't be surprised if it does get pushed, honestly.
I reckon it'll be
'Cause
Christmas.
it's been...
No,
It'll
I
be-
think September.
And if it's not ready by Christmas, I reckon they'll push it to next year.
They'll push it to what month is GTA 6 coming out? That's when Metroid Prime 4 will land.
Ooh.
I reckon
no other game wants to release in that month.
I think it's September. I think we look at this calendar here. July is Donkey Kong's month. I think August is a good opportunity for other little bits and pieces, maybe some indie games that we're waiting for. Hades 2, Silksong. September, Damon X Machina is going to hit for the audience that it's going to hit with, but other than that, I think that feels a little empty for Nintendo.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a
Either
good
that or
time
October.
for Metroid. October, you got Pokemon. So I don't know if you
yeah.
want to go up
That's
with one of
true.
the biggest franchises in the world.
Probably not.
And I think the next game that we're going to talk about is going to be the holiday release for this year.
Yeah, so we've got Kirby Air Riders, which is a sequel to a cult classic GameCube racing game. So the Kirby Air Riders on the GameCube was kind of a fast-paced racer where you ride on one of the warp stars as Kirby. I never actually played it. It's incredibly expensive now. We're talking like $400 or $500 for a copy.
Oof, that sounds like the what is it? The Four Swords and Wind Waker.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's one of those titles that's like near unobtainable. So I'm very much hoping that in the lead up they bring it to Switch Online, so people can actually play it. That would make perfect sense. Yeah, and like I've heard it's pretty good from people who have played it. Again, it's another racer though. So this seems a little bit odd to me in that in the very first year or even the first 6 months of the Switch 2, we get Mario Kart, which is the system seller, the best racing game that Nintendo has to offer. And then within the next 6 months, they release another racing game.
I think you're correct. But not to speak ill of the dead, I think Kirby Air Riders is going to fill the void of F-Zero. Different kind of racing game. Sad. Yeah, I know. I think it's a different kind of racing game, right? It's going to be more fast-paced. It's going to be more like action-packed, focused, high-octane racing, where Mario Kart is stressful, but that's more because of like the items and the tricks and like all the other arcade-focused stuff.
That makes sense. But rest in peace, Captain Falcon.
No, always alive in our hearts. Sandy, what do you think?
I have no real opinion of Air Ride, having never played the original, and the only person I know who has said they didn't like it. So I will hold out hope that it's going to be good. But
well, it is being directed by Masahiro Sakurai.
Yeah, so I mean, it'll be charming if nothing else.
He's a legend. Yeah, true.
But I was going to say, imagine though they do Mario Kart 6 months, Kirby 6 months, F-Zero.
Wow.
Let's start the rumors now.
Man. Yeah, you're cooking. You're cooking now.
It's happening.
No, but
Renee, you're going to get Kirby?
No, I haven't actually played the first one. I haven't really heard much about it, so
Yeah, it seems like no one has.
Yeah, I mean, if I get a chance to play it, I probably will. If a demo comes out and I can try it, then I probably will decide then.
Yep.
I'm much more interested in Splatoon, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and funny you say that, because just today a brand new game was launched, Splatoon Raiders. I haven't seen the trailer. Has anyone here?
Oh my god, it's incredible. Oh my lord.
Tell us all about it.
Let me paint you a picture.
Sell us.
Deep Cut, your trio from Splatoon 3 on a plane.
With the big man.
Oh, with the biggest man in the world. On a plane, going over like a Bermuda Triangle kind of vibe islandscape in the ocean, get smacked by a tornado or something, you crash on the thing. No. Not much gameplay is shown, right? You get a couple of snippets in here and a little bit of information from Nintendo themselves. Let me read for you from Nintendo.com. In the role of a mechanic, players will go on an adventure in the mysterious Spiral-Light Islands alongside the spectacular Deep Cut trio. That's all we got so far. I think maybe single player. I think it's going to be more focused on some of the roguelike elements that we saw in the Side Order DLC. Maybe some of the kind of like puzzle shooting stuff that we get in the single player campaign from Splatoon 3. Maybe a little bit of the PvE stuff that we saw in what's that mode called? I'm so sorry.
Salmon Run?
Salmon Run, thank you. I think it's going to be, it feels like a combination of that. And the fact that they open it up with a new Splatoon spin-off, they verbalize that this is a spin-off game. I wouldn't be surprised if it's weird, if they're going to try some new things. And some stuff might hit, some stuff might miss.
The thing is with Deep Cut is that they're treasure hunters. That's what they were introduced as in the basically in the story mode of Splatoon 3, is that they are trying to find treasure and they think that you're trying to steal it. I'm wondering if this might mean that we might get an Agent 5 or 6 or 7, because it's so weird, because we've got Agent 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I think 5 is Agent 5 is Pearl, Agent 6 is Marina.
Splatoon
we don't have an
spoilers.
Agent 7.
Yeah.
Sorry. We don't have an Agent 7, but we've had Agent 8 twice. They're featured in 2 spin-offs.
More into that lore. I think there's an opportunity here for them to expand the Splatoon lore.
Well, I'm hoping that if they are
around.
doing treasure hunting, that maybe they will be going and getting more relics from the human world.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Some Pikmin vibes, maybe. You find a Game Boy
have you
or
looked
something
at the
like
weapons?
that.
The weapons in the game are made from human stuff.
Yes. You got. I got a screenshot in front of me here. They're holding
Flash
a gun
Blaster
that is
has
a
got
soda
the Flash
bottle.
Blaster uses crayons.
Yep. There's a bunch of weird knickknacks, and there's definitely some elements at play here that aren't recognizable from the traditional Splatoon gameplay. So.
But yeah, I'm hoping that they kind of play with, because I think that's one of the things that really sets it apart, is that it is a post-apocalyptic shooter that's incredibly colourful.
Yeah.
Do we think charming?
Do we think Splatoon Raiders is a 2025 game?
Oh, it's hard to say, because a lot of their spin-offs, like Side Order and like Octo expansion, sorry, I couldn't remember what it was called. They were very short.
I do think, considering Splatoon 3 released a few years ago now, that it's not out of the realm of possibility. It's probably more this notion that if this is an experiment, that they're trying something new with the gameplay and with the setup and the style as a spin-off, it might be more to do with giving it space to breathe and not having it be cannibalized by other bigger releases like a Pokemon, like a Metroid, like a Kirby. I'd like to see it this year because I love Splatoon, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's an early, like a February, March title in 26.
I'm just trying to think, because I think Side Order, that wasn't released that long ago, really. Side Order was only released in December. Or November
Not
of
this
last
year.
year.
That would have been a 2023 game? No, you're right. It was last year.
Yeah. It was fairly recent, so I'm like...
Maybe we got some time to wait before we see more of this. Exciting nonetheless. And I think the fact that it was announced on the Nintendo app, they're trying to give it credibility. That this app isn't just random cute little things and screenshots, that there's actually some value in downloading it. And I got notification that it was out, which was very cool to see late last night. And it's not like Nintendo hasn't done random game announcements on a given Tuesday. I remember Paper Mario and the Origami King was just a random trailer drop disconnected from any kind of Nintendo Direct or anything like that. And if this is the path they're going down, I'd love it if, once a month, every 2 months, they just like, hey, here's a trailer for a new project.
I don't think they'll be doing what they did with Metroid Prime. Though, I don't think they'll be doing what they did with Metroid Prime 4, where it will be a really long wait. I don't think they'll do that.
Well, that game was just in development hell, was the issue. Like, it's been through cancellations of people who are working on it and brought back to life by Retro, who made the first 3. So I think Metroid Prime 4 is an exception.
I think Nintendo are hit and miss with this kind of notion. Super Smash Bros. Was announced in like an April or something like that, and then released 6 months later in like a December. But on the other hand, Tears of the Kingdom was announced, and it was like 2 years later that we got a second trailer. So sometimes it's a quick turnaround, sometimes we have to wait a little bit. It just depends.
And I mean, the Switch 2 launch itself was 2 months before they released it. They said, "Oh yeah, it's real."
Yeah, true. That actually was very quick. Not much
Yeah.
of a lead time, honestly.
By the way,
Yeah.
Switches 2 is coming out, and you can buy it in 2 months' time.
And everyone's just like, oh yeah, cool.
No, I think everyone was like, finally, geez, we all knew you were sitting on it.
Yeah. They got sick of all the leaks.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe they would have shadow
Do
dropped
we have
it.
any other games? Any other games that we're keen for? Honestly, there are none that come to mind for me. I think I've kind of mentioned them all.
Look, we're getting long in the tooth here, keeping it short. Hades 2, I want that 1.0 release.
Yep.
It's a Nintendo Switch launch exclusive on console alongside PC.
Definitely wanna play it.
It's definitely going to be perfect for this console, and I can't wait for it. The other one is Hollow Knight Silksong, which over the weekend we learnt a little bit more about its release schedule, being shown off with the new Xbox Ally handheld. And then Team Cherry, based in Adelaide here in Australia, posted on their Discord that they will be releasing the game before the holiday release of this new console. So combine that information with the fact that it's going to be at Acme in Melbourne in September as a part of Melbourne International Games Week kind of thing. What's the correct thing?
it's going to be
That's
Acme at Melbourne International Games Week.
Thank you. I think you combine that information with that's in September. They've confirmed that it's going to be before the holidays, which in America is from like late November, from Thanksgiving. So you imagine that's when Xbox is looking to release this console. Somewhere between August and October, we get Hollow Knight Silksong. Throw Hades 2 in the mix. In terms of indie games that I'm ready for, I think it's perfect for the Switch. I can't wait to play them.
Yeah, we eating good. Definitely, we'll have reviews for those, and I'm sure many people will be playing them. I love playing both on my original Switch as well. The original Hollow Knight and the first Hades, so no doubt the sequels are going to be wonderful. Look, I think we're going to have to call it there. We're coming up to almost 2 hours
Chunky.
of chat about the Switch 2 with some awkward pauses throughout. So we're talking maybe 1 hour 55, and there's still so much to talk about. We're going to have heaps of coverage for the Switch 2 on the website, lots of chats on the Discord. So thank you everyone who's made it to the end of this absolutely mammoth Switch 2 episode. Thank you for joining us all, and thank you to you guys for jumping on and chatting about the Switch 2 as well. It's such an exciting time to be here with the launch of a brand new Nintendo console. These things don't come along often.
Yes, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thanks everyone who listened.
Yep. Thanks for having me on, even though I didn't get to play much, so I didn't have much to input.
Oh, well, you're going to have a lot more to play, so get to it. And for those of you out there, make sure to tune in next week for another episode of the Qualcast, where the crew will be chatting about all the announcements from the recent Summer Game Fest showcases. There's probably like 100 games for them to fit in a single episode, so probably expect that to go for about 10 hours.
The PC one was like 77 alone.
No, too many games. Please slow down. But if you want to find out,
3 days.
if you want to find out about all of them, we've got some wrap-ups, some brilliant wrap-up articles on the Qualbert website. So head over there, have a look, and we will catch you next week.